We need to talk about AI because what's happening right now isn't just another tech trend. It's signaling the end of business as we know it. The old rules for how companies compete, how they create value, they're all being completely rewritten right now. So let's break down what is actually changing. To really get your head around how big this shift is, let's start with something that just happened, something that sent a shockwave through Wall Street. Get this, a single folder of AI prompts, just text files, released on GitHub by a company called Anthropic, caused hundreds of billions of dollars to just vanish from the stock market. A folder. That's the scale of the disruption we're dealing with. So how? How can a few simple text files trigger a financial earthquake like that? This isn't just some weird random market fluctuation. No, this is a signal of a much, much deeper change in the very mechanics of our economy. And in this explainer, we're going to dig into exactly what is happening.
Okay, first up, let's look at that shock to the system. The way the market reacted tells us something huge. The definition of a valuable business asset has fundamentally changed.
So why the panic? Well, it's because AI tools, like Anthropic's Claude, can now do the work that used to require incredibly expensive, specialized software. And here's the real kicker. They can do it for basically nothing, almost zero cost. You see, for decades, software was valuable because it was hard to make, it was scarce. That scarcity is just evaporating. And the market is desperately trying to reprice everything based on that new reality.
To really appreciate just how different this new world is, we have to take a quick step back and remember the old playbook, the era when software was absolute king.
For the last few decades, the business playbook was pretty simple. Really, you built a moat around your company using software. If you owned the application, if you owned the platform, if you owned the specific workflow, you owned the customer. I mean, think about it. Once a company gets locked into using a certain software ecosystem, it is so hard for them to leave. That right there, that was the source of all the power and all the profit. But that old software moat, it is drying up fast. A totally new kind of competitive advantage is taking its place, and it's one that's built entirely on AI.
You know what's really fascinating is that OpenAI's Sam Altman pointed out this weird paradox recently. He said AI's capabilities have absolutely exploded, but businesses are still adopting it incredibly slowly. Most companies still just see it as, a fancy chatbot, not a fundamental way to transform their entire business. And this lag, this gap between what's possible and what's being done is creating a massive opportunity for anyone who decides to move first. And the result of that lag is this huge and rapidly widening productivity gap. On one side, you have companies that embrace AI as a true coworker, and they're seeing explosive growth in what each employee can do. On the other side, well, you have everyone else, and they're basically getting left in the dust. Like Altman said, if your company isn't set up to adopt AI quickly, you're going to be at a massive, massive disadvantage.
So what does this new way of working actually look like day to day? Well, think of it like a partnership. It's a tag team. The human sets the big picture, the strategy, the goal. Then the AI coworker comes in and does all the heavy lifting, the coding, the data cleaning, all those repetitive tasks we all hate. Finally, the human steps back in to review, to curate, to add that crucial personal touch. This is the office of the future. Humans directing and machines executing. Let's make this super concrete. Here's a real-world example. This is a custom tool that was built for the hotel industry to automate marketing. Before AI, just gathering and cleaning the data could take hours of boring manual work. With a custom AI tool, it takes minutes. Validating domains, checking emails, getting rid of duplicates, it's all automatic now. And this is exactly why the market is so worried. Why would you pay a ton of money for a rigid, expensive software platform when you can just build a perfect custom tool for yourself?
Okay, now this next idea might sound like it's straight out of science fiction, but this is absolutely where everything is heading. The very definition of a customer is about to change.
That's right. In the very near future, the entity your business is trying to sell to, it might not be a person. It's going to be an AI agent working on behalf of a person. Let's be honest, we are lazy. We love to offload cognitive work. So we are going to happily delegate all sorts of tasks to our trusted AI assistants. This means these AI agents are about to become the new gatekeepers. They're going to be the ones researching products, comparing your services against your competitors, negotiating prices, and then presenting a neat, filtered list of options to their human boss. Now think about this. If your business isn't set up to talk to these agents, you could be completely filtered out before a human being ever even knows you exist.
So if owning the software is the old model,
What on earth is the new one? Well, it all boils down to one simple idea: owning the conversation.
Let's just look at this side by side. The old advantage, that came from locking customers into your application. The new advantage comes from being the absolute best at having a conversation, both with people and with their AI agents. The whole focus is shifting away from renting these rigid, one-size-fits-all tools and moving towards building your own custom, adaptable workflows that make your team unbelievably productive. So where does all this leave us? The new competitive moat, the new advantage, it's really a mix of three key things. First, productivity, using AI to do way more, way faster. Second, adaptability, being able to build and change your own tools whenever you need to. And third, and this is the new one, being AI readable, which just means structuring your business so it can be easily understood and talked to by those AI agents we just mentioned.
And that brings us to the final critical question you really need to ask yourself. Forget just having a website for humans. Is your business fundamentally structured to communicate with the AI agents that are about to start making decisions for them? Because this isn't science fiction anymore. It is happening right now, and the future is going to belong to the people who are ready for that conversation.